When Flash, an adorable, faithful, four-legged companion, refused to leave the grave, no one could have imagined the incredible mystery that was about to be revealed. If you love stories full of emotions and plot twists, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next adventures. Enjoy! Luciano, a middle-aged man living in Siena, found himself in a vortex of depression after his painful divorce from Claudia. Once full of life and dreams, his spirit was broken by the constant arguments and the inexorable decline of his marriage. Now, he lived alone in an old house, surrounded by memories of what had been and tormented by ghosts of the past. His days dragged on slowly, punctuated by glasses of alcohol that tried to dull a pain too great to bear. One night, during a violent storm, Luciano was lost in thought. In the darkness of his house, the thunder was rumbling furiously, and the wind was howling, creating an atmosphere full of tension. Suddenly, a distinct howl broke through the din of the storm. It was a strange, almost disturbing sound that immediately caught Luciano's attention. He decided to follow that call, despite the anguish that gripped his heart. He opened the back door and found himself facing a scene that would change his life forever. A wet and frightened dog with eyes full of urgency was staring at him intensely. It seemed to want to communicate something, and Luciano, guided by an inexplicable instinct, decided to follow it. The dog, which Luciano called Flash, led him away from the house. A few moments later, a giant tree, uprooted by the fury of the storm, collapsed exactly where he had been standing moments before. Luciano realized that the dog had saved his life. From that moment, a special bond was born between the two, a friendship that would bring light back to Luciano's life. As the days passed, Flash became much more than just a pet. He became a faithful companion and a source of hope for Luciano. The routine of caring for Flash forced him to leave the house, to move, to reconnect with the outside world. Daily walks with the dog became a kind of therapy, allowing Luciano to rediscover the small joys of life. During one of these walks, Luciano met Claudia, a woman with an equally complex past. She was a single mother who had tried to rebuild her life after leaving behind an abusive relationship with Franco, the father of her daughter, Emma. The connection between the two was immediate and profound. Despite the difficulties, they decided to build a life together, uniting their families and their destinies. One day, during one of his usual runs, Luciano decided to leave Flash at home because of the intense heat. It was a bright and sunny day, but a sense of uneasiness hung in the air. Claudia began to worry about the man's prolonged absence, when suddenly, Flash escaped, running towards the local cemetery with an inexplicable determination. Serena and Emma followed him, finding him on top of a grave, barking furiously. Sensing the dog's urgency, Claudia called the police, who decided to open the burial. Serena and Emma followed him, finding him on top of a grave, barking furiously. Sensing the dog's urgency, Claudia called the police, who decided to open the burial. The scene that presented itself before their eyes was shocking. If you like this story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other incredible adventures. Thank you. Under the Fresh Earth They found Luciano, alive but wounded. It was clear that he had been buried alive, and only Flash's intuition had prevented a tragedy. The police immediately began investigating, and with Luciano's help, they managed to draw up an identikit of the attacker. It was then that an even more shocking truth emerged. The man who had tried to kill Luciano was Franco, Claudia's ex-husband. Franco had been a dark and menacing presence in the woman and Emma's life for years, and now his hatred had turned towards the man. Franco was arrested and confessed to the crime, revealing that he had been watching the family for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. Thanks to Flash's loyalty and intuition, Luciano was safe, and the family found the strength to overcome this terrible experience. Franco's arrest brought a sense of relief and justice to Claudia, Luciano, and Emma. After the nightmare they had experienced, the family found a new balance. Flash, the faithful dog who had saved Luciano, continued to be a constant and reassuring presence. Every day, as they walked through the streets of Siena, Luciano could not help but reflect on how much his life had changed thanks to that extraordinary dog. Claudia and Luciano decided to get married, building a future together based on love and resilience. Emma found in Luciano a loving stepfather, and Flash became her inseparable playmate. The wounds of the past began to heal, giving way to a new hope and a happiness that seemed impossible only a few years before. But even in their newfound serenity, the shadow of the past had not completely disappeared. The knowledge of what Franco had done and of his evil intentions remained a scar in everyone's mind. However, love and mutual support allowed the family to move forward, more united and stronger than ever. Luciano, reflecting on everything that had happened, realized that without Flash, his life would have ended that fateful day. That dog had not only saved his life, but had also brought hope and love back into his existence. Flash was more than just a dog. He was a true guardian angel, always ready to protect and guide his family. An animal's loyalty and love can work miracles, transforming even the most desperate situations.